it's getting to the point, I think social media is amplifying it so much, where the things that are not manly are absurd.
This podcast is a Dear Media production.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back. Rayna, you've been living in your denim culottes every damn day.
Okay, you see them twice this week, but tell me the last time you saw them before this.
The week before that, twice. You just can't stop, won't stop. I love it.
I love them.
And a flip-flop, you did not used to show your toes. I mean, you're a new woman.
She's a different girl these
like,
days.
A year ago even, if you would have been like Rayna Greenberg, the next year this time,
Thighs in, toes out.
you're going to be in a knee-length denim short and a flip-flop, you would have been like, bitch, please.
It's the summer of Free the Toe. Okay, toes are having a real summer.
Well,
I was going to ask you had a Band-Aid on your toe yesterday.
Girl.
Well, you didn't address it. Why was there a Band-Aid?
I cut my toe. I don't know how. In Denver, like we were going to brunch. We had taken scooters there. I was wearing a sock and a sneaker. And we went to Softa. And my sock like came off in my shoe. Like, you know, like slides down, the worst feeling in the world. So I sat down. I went to like take my shoe off and put my sock back on, slide it up over my heel. And I was like bleeding out in my sock. I'm like exaggerating, but like the toe of the sock was like soaked in blood.
Which toe is it?
This toe.
Big toe. Is it possible that your little toe cut your toe next to it cut it? Your toenails aren't that long. You need a pedicure.
No,
like
no, Rayna, it's so bad. Stop. Wow. We've been through this. It's not even a funny bit anymore. Don't.
They grow at different rates. Like one of them looks like a French manicure.
You think these are all that haven't been snipped? I got to be cutting them because I wouldn't be able to fit in my shoes.
I have to cut my toenails so often. Like, I don't know what it is. Nothing on my body grows faster than my toenails.
A gel pedicure. I mean, the polish lasts for 3 years. So it's like, I feel like, but I somehow sliced my toe, didn't recognize it, put on shoe, sock, took a scooter, went to brunch, bleeding out the whole time.
You rolled in here with the brightest Band-Aid I've ever seen yesterday.
So anyway, guys, send me thoughts and prayers. Send me healing thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, but it's summer, free the toes. Flip-flops really
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. I mean, I have ugly feet, and it is it is my worst quality. Like my worst physical quality. Name a worse physical quality on me. You can't.
I think everything is beautiful on you. But if I had to pick a thing, it is them.
I've always said if a man can love my feet, that's how I know he loves me. If he's like, they're so cute, that's how I know he loves me.
Well, I've said this before, but you had an ex and he wanted to know what he should do for your birthday. And I told him to get you like a bagel spread and all this stuff. And I told him to come on your feet. I said, make her think you love her feet.
And he decided to do none of it, didn't he? We went to dinner and he forgot his wallet. So I had to get the restaurant to comp the bill and come back.
Can we just talk about the whole forgetting of the wallet?
When he forgot his wallet on my birthday, thank God we were at Ozatar in New York City, one of mine and Ashley's favorite restaurants, and we know the owner, and he was going to comp the check anyways, I guess. And I was just like...
I miss Ozatar.
Oh, me too. I was just like... You got out of this easy.
My fiance lost his wallet. It ended up being at work, but he lost his wallet, which I had bought him, which was Goyard.
Yeah.
So that was my main concern, and I made that very clear.
How do you know you're close? You know your best friend's fiance's wallet brand.
No, because I had to go fucking wait in line.
I had to sit in the car while you waited in line.
I was fucking on Rodeo waiting in the one in, one out line, and you were just watching me from your Jeep.
That's crazy that anybody would know your partner's wallet brand.
But like, it's not though. Like, you're my best friend, and obviously you were like, what are you getting him for Christmas? And I was like, I'm fucking dropping a stack on this dumb little wallet.
Right after Botox.
When he told me he like lost his wallet again, it turned up. Like, I had to be like, do I stay true to myself and let him know the main concern is the wallet?
Definitely. If I lost
you can get a new license, you can get a new credit card.
Yeah, I'd be way more upset about the wallet.
It's not a passport. That would have trumped the wallet, but if you can get new stuff. The wallet, you're not going to get another one of those. I didn't insure this wallet. I've insured his wallet. But it was one night out, because he usually pays when we go out. It was one night out that I paid for everything. And It was just like, I was like, was this
On
the
purpose.
plan?
It was the most expensive place. I would
He
do
saved
that.
like $50. We went to like a comedy show. Okay, let's talk about our partners and we'll get into it.
All right. Thank you to Shopify. Go to shopify.com/GGE and start building your own empire today. And Rocket Money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions at rocketmoney.com/GGE. And Built. Get points by paying rent at joinbuilt.com/GGE.
And thank you to Quince. Get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order at quince.com/GGE. And Live Conscious, get 15% off at liveconscious.com with code GGE. And Liquid IV, get 20% off your first order at liquidiv.com with code GGE. Let's just do a quick update. So last week, we talked about this DM we got from a listener about her fiance going to Vegas. It was so unhinged. And as was ChatGPT's response to Rayna in her voice. And we talked about it with Ian Finance, and it was hilarious. And if you missed it, definitely go back and listen. But just the TLDR is this woman found a message that her fiance had sent to ChatGPT asking if he should not wear underwear in Vegas so when he's getting lap dances, he can bust quicker and save money. ChatGPT broke down the math. But as we worked through it, the three of us, we were like, this probably was a joke. And it was probably like, you know, sometimes like in a group chat, like you'll write something like kind of snarky and you'll write it and then screenshot it and send it to your friend and not send it. You got to be really careful. It's a risky move.
It's the scariest moment of my day. But have you ever hit send by accident?
Though. I've never sent it by accident.
Me either.
I'm so careful when I do this.
Me too.
But like, it's almost like he did this to show his friends to be funny.
Oh, I like that call.
Yeah. So she did give us an update. I had asked, like, we want more details. And she said, she confronted him about it. She said, I don't know. He said it was a joke. In his defense, he didn't have any clean underwear in his drawer. So I don't know when he devised this joke or plan, but I went and got him some out of the dryer and he packed one pair for the weekend, the whole weekend.
Men are so
And then he was like, I'm not going to need these because you know what I'm doing. I told him, ew, and that it would be so uncomfortable, and I put more in his bag. I do think it was a joke. I hope I did not take it as a joke because that whole exchange earlier, the whole thing is so embarrassing. Oh my God.
Also, one pair of underwear like doesn't prove anything to me because men are just gross.
Yeah.
And they would wear one pair of underwear all weekend. Like women we're just here to like make sure you guys like stay alive.
Yeah. And again, like our whole thing is always like, is your relationship great and healthy outside of this one thing that embarrassed you? Then great. But if it's bad and he lies to you and you feel like he's dishonest and you can't trust him, then don't marry him. So she can make that decision for herself.
I think you're right. I asked ChatGPT some ridiculous stuff. There's all this stuff about like whether that's like shareable now, like whether your searches can be shared to Google and turning this toggle on and off. And I am still on team. I don't ChatGPT any questions that I wouldn't mind having shared. We want to do like a whole AI episode about different things.
But I just assume anything you're typing or speaking or doing at all on any device is out there in the world. Obviously it is. The thoughts you have, you get served an ad about them moments later.
Literally, you were telling me about this bra the other day.
Oh my God,
for like smaller breasts, and just verbally telling me about it, and I got an ad for it yesterday. And it's certainly not because they went through my camera roll and saw how big my boobs were. It's just
I was telling you about it. Yeah. My ads are an attack.
It's not all wedding stuff now?
It's mostly aging stuff. It's mostly like gray hair, crepey skin, saggy titties. And I'm like,
droopy knees?
Yep. I buy everything. Losing all your hair.
Nipples point to the ground.
Seriously, yeah. So they get me. My explore page on Instagram, which not that I'm usually checking it for content, but like, you hit your search, whatever. It was all wedding for so long. And it was just like after I bought my dress, it was just all wedding dresses for a while. I had to try to like clear that shit out.
No, it takes a while because when I was furnishing my house, it was hundreds of ads for home furnishings and renovation companies, lighting. I mean, there's no end to the amount of shit they'll serve you. And it took me months to get my shit
clear it out. Yeah. Like
normal.
Instagram is so delayed. Like TikTok is immediate. TikTok is like, you search one thing, here's 20 videos. And we forget what you searched last week.
You can't.
You're a different person.
Break up TikTok. They're like, oh, you want one of these? Here's 19 of them.
TikTok is scary. Like I don't look up anything I don't want that to be my whole algorithm.
It knows what I need, though. Sometimes I just need some mantras, like, don't text him, sis.
Yeah.
And then I'll get like 15 of them.
True. Okay, just a quick life update. So I am in Charlotte and Atlanta this week, Thursday and Friday. They're both sold out, so sorry if you missed out. But no, so I can't wait to see all you guys there. It's been so long since since we've been to Charlotte.
Since the Zone? No, we did one of the things.
We did the Fillmore a few times. It's been so long since we've been to the well,
Zone
actually,
lives in my heart.
Yes. So I'm going to the Comedy Zone, and I actually love that club. And we first played Charlotte there. We had a blast.
Do you remember that charcuterie board they gave us?
Yes, they go all out.
No, it was not. It was these little pepperoni cups.
It fucking slapped, is what it.
It was a silver serving tray that they put plastic wrap over it.
I think about every day, and I can't wait. And they better have that for me. Like I was talking with another comic about the Comedy Zone. Like they really treat you so well.
I love the Zone.
So I'll be in Atlanta, and then it is the first of my like bachelorettes. I say that in quotes. I just don't want them to all feel like bachelorette-y and
I think you should lean in.
Yeah.
I'm done with you not leaning in.
They're fine. This is my first bachelorette. And this is with some of my Atlanta friends and my college girlfriends. So again, I just had to kind of divide up my friends and because there's so many. And this will be like, the southern girlies.
Well, you and I have talked about this recently, like having one huge bachelorette and a couple small ones. And I like the idea that you have like a more focused group. Most people know each other. You like actually get to feel like you spent time with people. And listen, I know that everybody doesn't have an infinite amount of money and time to travel around. Like 2 bachelorettes is not like plausible for everybody. But like it's nice to have a more focused group. And I don't know, I find it more enjoyable.
Yeah, whatever you want to do is fine. If it's your dream to do a thing with 20 girls, fucking do it.
Most people do that.
I feel like this like 10-ish, 12 is like I'm tapping out. I don't want to run around with 15 girls. And my list of like people that I would invite to my bachelorette like was 30. So I was like, I kind of need to do 2 to 3.
Do I count as 2 people? Because I'm going to
Well, you're coming to 2. Yeah.
But 30, am I like number like 29 and 30 or I'm one person?
30 and 31.
It's hard to remember to count yourself into stuff.
I know. I just kind of did this with my college girlfriends. It was like, I'm already going to be there. They're going to come to the show. And then we have a fun little weekend in Atlanta planned. And I got this great house. And so that's going to be really fun. And then heading straight to Delaware after that. And I'll be there for the week and then another bachelorette next weekend.
I'm so excited.
We're really doing it.
I'm just like so excited for all the activities.
So we're going to do this game and we'll recap it after we do it. We're not going to give it away. And also we don't know exactly what's going to happen. It is the thing I'm most excited about even more than my special or my wedding is this game we're going to play. Rayna has been in charge of it. Like you've really been organizing it.
Well, you decided you want to do it. I just had to like get
it's an idea I came up
me.
with, and we'll report back.
I'm having a blast.
We should like live stream it.
Some of the stuff is so crazy. Like I don't know that our friends would want that getting. Like a lot of them are married,
I'm
so
kidding.
like
Of course
I don't think
not.
they want that stuff getting out there.
No,
but like
no.
I am particularly impressed by the married ones. And just so I thought that I was going to be like, I'm going to blow all you bitches out of the water. Oh, you girls have been married all these years.
And I'm a slut. Okay, so we're teasing it too much, but we'll talk about it 100% after in a couple weeks. Okay, so Rayna, you have a story.
So we were in Denver this weekend, which was so fun. Me, you, and Andrew Collin. Andrew and I opened for you at your shows at Denver Comedy Works. Oh
Unreal.
my God, it just was so much fun.
That room. It's the best and loudest comedy club. It takes you by surprise. Like there was one show, I think it was Friday, when I came out and it was so loud, it like jolted me. Like every show was amazing, but
it has you up there, me specifically, being like, am I the funniest person that's ever been alive?
Yeah, if you bomb there, you have to quit comedy.
It's like
you cannot. It's just that's the rule.
No, it's like a single cute guy coming to one of our live shows and not getting laid.
Yeah,
like you should quit trying to get pussy. If you can't get laid at a Girls Gotta Eat show. But yeah, I think that we all did an amazing job, obviously.
Of course, yeah, you absolutely crushed.
Thanks.
And you had such a fun set, and it just got better every time. And we had 4 shows, and so it was just like so much fun to see you up there and really like work the crowd and get into your little crowd work things.
It's really fun. I think people are surprised by it, and I have to have self-talk because people are like, oh my, somebody sent me this message that was like, maybe you have like a side gig. It's like Ashley's opener. And I was like, do you guys understand? I've done hundreds of live shows, each one of them for like 2 hours. I write a set, we improvise.
Yeah.
People come on and off the stage. I think stand-up is very hard and it's his own skill. And I don't do like an hour of stand-up comedy like you, but I'm a performer and have been for 7 years.
Yeah.
It would be crazy if I couldn't do this.
Yeah, I know. Like people understand the difference, but there is a little part of me that's insulted on your behalf when they're like, Rayna, you should do comedy. And it's like, she's been doing comedy. And it is different to go up there with your podcast co-host. And it's different for me in terms of the way I feel about it and even prep for it. But it still is just like, yeah, you have been speaking on stage, telling stories, writing punchlines and jokes for a long time.
People don't see it as that, and I understand that. And yes, if you want to get technical about it, but I'm really proud of it. And
Oh my God,
I would
yeah.
love to do more of it. And I think it was just like really fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
And you were great.
You did amazing. So did Andrew. He crushed. But okay, you have the story.
Okay, so we love like airport and airplane stories. So I have one airport, one airplane story. Something happened to me at the airport that has never happened in my entire life.
God.
I don't even believe this is like a thing. So Andrew and I
Obviously,
went
would happen at Denver.
at that fucking airport.
Yeah, Denver Airport. It's like Illuminati, the horse, the whole thing.
We looked it up. I think it is the busiest airport in the country, more than Atlanta. I thought Atlanta might be biggest, but like more people go through
Yeah,
Denver
I actually
every
wanted to look
day.
that up too. Okay.
Andrew and I, just to like paint the picture, the lines were so long. You go round and round and round for so long, and they split you into 16 sublines at the end of that line.
We didn't have any lines.
You didn't? Ours
What
was
did you fly back on?
We flew on United.
You did?
And it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't
my
believe how long these lines, and it didn't take super, super long, but it's the sheer volume.
We
of
didn't see
people.
that at all. But we had a weird 3:30 is a weird time. Anyway.
I didn't think 6 o'clock in the morning would be that busy.
know.
It was really busy. So just so you understand how busy it was. So I brought a carry-on. All I had in the carry-on was like 3 pairs of jeans, 2 t-shirts. I had a makeup bag, a toiletries bag, which is not my normal toiletries bag, not that much in it. It was just, I was taking one shower. I was doing one hair shower.
Yeah.
And then I had my skincare. So not that much stuff. And all of them are under 3.5 ounces or 4.2, whatever the fuck it is. That everything was under that. So we get to the front and they flagged my bag and they pulled it and the guy opens it and he goes, whew, it's a lot of toiletries. And I was like, yeah, everything is around 2 ounces or less. And he was like, it's the volume of toiletries you have. And I was like, what? And he goes, 1 liter per person. And I go, liter? How do you know? Are you eyeballing a liter?
Right. Are you doing the
this
math?
And he's like, it's too much stuff. So I take my makeup bag out and I put it in my purse and I go, how about, is this okay? And he goes, makeup counts. It's 1 liter per person. Makeup counts.
This is not...
My eyeliner pencil counts. So I was like, what? So I'm with Andrew. I was like, well, can my friend take some of this? And then it's divvied up and he goes, now I know you're a couple and it's 1 liter per couple.
No, we didn't. That's not real.
And I go, this is not a thing. And by the way, I flew here on this airline with the exact same amount of stuff. So
no, that's irrelevant. The amount of stuff I fly. I mean, you and I travel for a living. Like, I have never been early days, put it in a bag, this and that, whatever. Like, I travel with tons of toiletry, tons. I have a huge like bag full of it. They're all the right size, but tons.
I went around Europe with twice this amount of stuff. And
It's never been
I brought a
flagged. In
carry-on.
how many years?
I looked at the guy, I go,
20 years?
I've been to 100+ airports. I've never heard this before. And it's one of those, I look at Andrew, and this is so rare that I'm actually at a loss. I look at Andrew, I go, what do I do? And the guy was like, you can go back out and go through security and check your bag. And I was like, so we can get on the plane, it just can't get on with me? And he was like, that's the rules, ma'am. What do you want to do? And I'm like so mad. I'm like getting so hot in my body. And like,
Was he telling you to like throw some stuff out?
Yes, he goes, so just throw some stuff out. So I'm like, okay.
But how do you know it's over? Like,
Andrew goes, what, you're just going to eyeball it? You know how much a liter is. So I go, okay, you throw my shampoo, my lotion, my body wash, my conditioner, all that, throw that
here's
out.
the thing though. Like, so let's just picture a liter. A 2 liter is a giant thing of Coke from when we were kids.
Yeah.
A liter, a half of that, I know for certain all your stuff would have filled half of a 2 liter bottle, like with room to spare. I know all your stuff was under a liter. And now that I know that that's the limit, I know my stuff is always under a liter. That's a ton of liquid.
I've never heard of this before. And so he turns around, I take the makeup bag and I slip it in my purse and he just forgets that this exists.
Oh, shit.
So I start pulling stuff out, my pills, my razor. He's like, these aren't liquids, it doesn't count. I'm like, what do you want me to do, brother? And he's like, if you could fit all of your liquids from this one bag into the main bag, then you can go through
That's
with
not
it.
even, that doesn't make
I
any
was like,
sense.
it's still the same amount of stuff. What are you
Right.
saying to me? I was like panicking. I was going to miss his flight. And I was so fucking tired. I'd slept for like 4.5 hours.
Oh my God, right.
But he did like let me through. He forgot about the makeup. I've never heard of this in my entire life.
I guess there is technically that limit, but when I really think about how much a liter is, it's significant. You'd have to have a full suitcase full of liquids. I used to like split up my makeup bag with my other toiletries bag and like my carry-on and my roller just in case. And then I stopped doing it because I've never once been questioned about this.
Never. I mean, you and I have traveled a lot more than most people. I've never heard of
there did used to be those rules, and they wanted you to have some early days. It would like take it out, put it in a freezer Ziploc bag. And that hasn't been a thing in so long.
I know, it was crazy. And the airport is like the one place I won't like pitch a fight because it's like,
oh my God, no.
What are you gonna do?
No, they'll just put you in like detainment.
Yeah, I mean, it's the peak of like follow the rules and fly, or don't follow them. Just let me know what you're gonna do.
Right? Yeah. Didn't you hear someone say that?
Yeah.
On the plane?
She said, follow the rules and get on this flight, or don't follow them and don't fly. You just let me know what you're gonna do. And I was like, that's how the airport is.
Oh my God.
So I did get on the flight, and then I had this interesting experience. I just wondered like what you thought about it. So this woman, I'm sitting next to her and I'm trying to get my bag up and I put my smaller bag down and she was like, oh, do you want me to put it on your seat? And I was like, sure. It's nice. She's maybe a little bit older than us. Mm-hmm. And I sit down. I notice she has just like all the things. She has like a neck pillow, headphones, a fan. She's sanitizing everything around her. She's just really engaged with the community around her. Mm-hmm. She looks at her friend. She's like, I have compression socks if you need any. And the girl's like, I love fine. This. And I don't know. She's just like fussy with everything. And I'm like falling asleep. I'm in a tank top. I'm freezing. I actually meant to buy a sweatshirt, but didn't have time.
So you got to bring that blanket scarf. You always make fun of me. You got to bring your shawl.
I was like, I really wish I had.
I travel with a blanket scarf, a shawl.
When you put it on, I didn't even laugh at you out loud. I like laughed across the aisle when I saw you put on your little blanket. Okay. But I was wearing a tank top. I meant to buy a sweatshirt, but I didn't have time. So I was like actually freezing and I was like trying to go to sleep. And as I'm like falling asleep, they came by with these like cinnamon buns, which were gross. And I hear I hear the girl next to me say to the flight attendant, she's sleeping, but give me an extra one for her so that when she wakes up. And I was like,
that's so cute. Wait, how old was this woman?
Maybe 45.
Okay, it's like a mom.
Yeah,
vibe.
It was mom vibes.
Yeah.
And then I'm half awake. I open my eyes and I look at it and she goes, I noticed you're shivering. And she goes, they have blankets in the cabin. And she flags the first
Can she come on the road with us? Is this our tour manager?
She flags the flight attendant down. And I go, thank you so much. I'll handle this. And she goes, excuse me, I saw that you have blankets. Can you give her one? I put the blanket on. I was so comfy, cozy. I went right to sleep.
I'm glad to know blankets are back, and they don't always have them. They got rid of the blankets during COVID, and like it's a toss-up whether they'll have them or not.
United did not have screens, but they had blankets.
New United plane, we flew back.
We flew back on a new one, yeah.
Oh, the screen was big.
It was nice.
It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good United experience. I hate to say it. I went in the new lounge, paid for it. I was like, I gotta see that lounge. Because I'd seen a TikTok about it. I was like, I gotta get in that lounge. We paid for it.
But it was so nice.
Yeah.
And when she asked the lady for the food, I was like, my first initial reaction was like, mind your own business about like what I'm doing. And she gave me the blanket thing too. I was sort of like,
really?
Why is she involved with like what's going on with my body? And then I was like, this is the nicest person and so unlike me.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the New Yorker in me that's like, mind your own business about someone else's body, what they're doing. Like I would never, you're right, it's very motherly. Like I would never try to like parent another adult. It's none of my business. If they're cold, they'll flag somebody. But like I had such a nice experience on this plane because of her. It was thoughtful, like doesn't even cover it.
I know. It is, I'm thinking of someone like my sister-in-law who would think all those things. I'd wonder if she would act on them. I know for certain that Stephanie would be like, the passenger next to me is sleeping. Maybe she'll want a cinnamon roll. Oh, she looks cold. Like that's her natural instinct. I'm curious if she would actually act on it. That's an interesting choice. I'm wondering what that woman is like in real life. I'm wondering if it's like everyone loves her. She's the mom of the group. She's always got everyone covered. Or everyone is like, Carol is so annoying.
It's so much. When she yelled across at her friend, like I brought extra compression socks, that girl just kind of rolled her eyes.
Oh no.
She was like, I've had enough of this.
She's like, Carol, get out of here. Shut the fuck up.
I do think it's a lot.
Yeah.
But you're right. Somebody who is that thoughtful, those personality traits don't marry together. Somebody who's gonna like it's not like type A. It's really assertive to flag the flight attendant down for a blanket.
Yeah.
For a stranger.
Okay, well, that is crazy that happened on the flight. You need to write a letter to Christy Nome and tell her. Be like, ma'am, I thought we were done with this.
I thought we were done with shoes. Like, I thought we were all just like together.
Living free.
Yes.
Well, speaking of liquids, Liquid IV, you guys. So I'm telling you about Liquid IV. Liquid IV doesn't count in your liquids, just so you guys
it's powders.
know.
It doesn't
it's
count.
Powder.
But eyeliner counts. Because it can
Blush,
be liquefied.
Seriously?
He said makeup counts. I was like, you motherfucker.
Then do not quote me on Liquid IV. Not counting. Some TSA agent would be like, it says liquid right on it.
If you like,
open it up.
You have to add the liquid.
So we just love Liquid IV, and this show is sponsored by Liquid IV. We have loved it for years. I am a little under the weather right now. I am just kind of run down from the travel and, you know, being on planes with people who don't cover their mouth when they cough, which is just such a treat. And I took a Liquid IV this morning. Really, I'm going to be taking one daily for the foreseeable future just to make sure I get those electrolytes. And we're just such fans. And if you guys don't know, it's just this packet. You rip it open, you dump it into 16 ounces of water. I really like ice cold water, and it's going to hydrate you better than water alone. Great for summer, great for any time. I'm going to put these in my little welcome bags for my wedding, of course. We've talked about that numerous times. You guys can visit liquidiv.com and use code GGE at checkout for 20% off your first order. Such fans of this. I love the lemon lime flavor. One of their new flavors that we're loving is the orange vanilla dream. It reminds me kind of that like creamsicle
Orange
summer
crush.
treat vibe. Yeah. So we love that. And again, this is going to keep you hydrated in the heat, fuel up for sports, workouts, or for next day recovery. It's powered by Live Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. So you guys can savor the last bits of summer with Liquid IV. Tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code GGE at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code GGE at liquidiv.com.
Okay, and a lot of people are not aware of how much they spend each month and all the subscriptions they pay for. I sign up for so many subscriptions because when we do the snack, I have to be able to read so many different articles. So I am subscribed to like a million publications, and I honestly forget. So Rocket Money is what helps me. And Rocket Money is a finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. The interface is really easy, clean, nice to use. They show you all your spending in one place. They can help find unwanted subscriptions and cancel them for you. They can even help try to negotiate lower bills for you. And the dashboard just kind of lays out your total financial picture. So you know what you're spending, when your bills are due. And I think a lot of people, this is really what stops them from writing a budget, is that you don't really understand the whole financial picture. So I love this app. I think it's fantastic and really easy to use. Rocket Money's 5 million members have saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, with members saving up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/GGE today. That's rocketmoney.com/GGE, rocketmoney.com/GGE.
Okay, and I am telling you about Quince. Okay, so I just got these new pants from Quince. I am buying a lot of white lately, a lot of events that I'm going to try to wear white. I got these Bella Stretch wide leg jeans. I had not done denim from Quince.
Oh.
I've done everything else. I do like dresses
Literally
and skirts
everything.
and sweaters and shoes and bags.
Yes.
And so I just love these, and they just are so comfy. $50.
That's crazy. Their
Yeah.
prices are crazy for the quality.
Yeah. So summer is winding down. You guys want to refresh your wardrobe. Fall, love fall fashion, living for it. So you're going to get cashmere, cotton sweaters starting at just $40, washable silk tops, and of course skirts and dresses. We love their washable silk. You truly just like put it in the washing machine and I hang dry it. And their classic denim pants, and everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands. They work directly with top artisans and cut out the middleman to give you the luxury without the markup. And they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. So we're just loving everything. I mean, you can just get anything there. I mean, they have bedding, they have luggage. I mean, the jewelry is great, but like I love my crossbody bag. I've been carrying around all summer long. You have like those white sneakers that are so great, and just all the clothes, of course. We're such fans. And again, the affordability, it just, again, it surprises us years later. We've been shopping this brand, and you're always just like, I can't believe that something this quality, again, cashmere, silk, premium denim is so affordable. So you can elevate your fall wardrobe essentials with Quince. Go to quince.com/GGE for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/GGE to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/GGE. And let's get into it.
All right, guys, we are very excited to welcome our guest today. He is an award-winning communication studies professor. He co-hosts the podcast Mr. Pick Me and The Man Hater, which offers comedic and insightful commentary on internet culture and dating dynamics. He has amassed over 2.5 million followers under his handle, The Speech Prof, analyzing topics like masculinity, emotional intelligence, and modern relationships. In 2025, he was honored with the Educator of the Year award at the Cheer Choice Awards, recognized for his impactful work both in the classroom and online. Please welcome to the show, Professor Chesko.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you. We've been having so much fun with you already.
Yeah.
We call you Prof.
Whatever.
Prof C?
Prof, no, don't do that.
He's like, let's not do that.
Let's not go there.
No, Chesko. We love it.
Chesko's fine. Most people
Okay.
know me as Chesko.
Okay.
You told us your real name. We won't announce it, but
Right.
we're in the circle.
Right, yeah, you're
we're
in the
in the
inner
trust
circle.
tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
subscribe to the
and
Patreon.
about 10,000 of my students.
And your wife. And that's
and my
it.
wife.
In the
that's
trust
it.
tree.
My kids don't even know.
That's such a funny concept to me. Like, when do you let your children know that you have a name?
They still have trouble with it. You know, my oldest is 10, and he's like, no. I don't.
Right.
They know that my real name is that, but they don't like it.
Right, totally.
Just dad. That's, yeah.
Yeah, like rappers and like when do they tell their kids?
Right.
You know, like that's
So
not my name. Okay, so you're a husband, a father of 3, a feminist. Have you kind of been like this your whole life? We'll talk about it, what you stand for and what you speak about, and has it been like a lifelong journey?
Yeah, I mean, I was raised by a single mom
Okay.
and my grandmother, and my mom was like this old 70s San Francisco hippie, and
We
she
love
always
that.
taught me, if you see something wrong in the world, say something about it. And so I've always been into it. I ran for prom queen in high school so it was very misguided, but we were breaking the gender norms that anybody could as a 17-year-old, thinking I was doing this groundbreaking thing.
Did you win?
There's a long story behind it. It's a short story, yes, but I didn't get the award because the people behind it did not think a guy should get the prom queen award.
Yeah, I can see.
Now in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, it was very special to the person that got it.
Tiffany and Jessica and
Yes,
those girls
that-
were upset.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I get like the point of
Right.
the gender roles, but
Right.
it's people are like, you're taking something away from
Exactly.
women.
And
We
so I
don't
was
need
like,
this
that's why I say
man.
Misguided as this young guy. Then I went to college and I took a class in feminist rhetoric, which was, just learning about feminist theory and all that goes into that. And it just kind of made sense. Everything that talked about the structural systems in our society, about oppression, about intersectional, about how race and class and gender and all these things play into it. I ended up getting a degree in gender and communication as I joined a speech and debate team. I got a full ride to grad school where I studied feminist rhetoric again, and where I wrote about hate crimes in World of Warcraft, which is a whole
Like the video game?
The
Like-
video game World of Warcraft. And so
Yeah.
it actually has a lot more to do with social media now than at the time. It was an excuse to play video games and get a degree out of it.
Yeah.
But it was just talking about structural systems of oppression and how they function in virtual worlds, which is absolutely applicable to how it functions in social media and how it functions online nowadays. But at the time, it was like, okay, that's fine.
I'll play video games
Yeah.
for work. I mean, I often think about video games and how like violent and even the show we were watching, we love it, but the video game they play is like
What show?
overcompensating. They're like killing hookers. Have you watched the show?
No.
And the show is very evolved. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like it's with Benito Skinner, and he's this. He was in the closet, and it's about his journey going to college, and it's progressive and evolved. But they still play a video game where they're like killing these hookers.
But even along those lines, that was what I talked about. Now, we weren't even going to talk about this, but my thesis was about how when people are behind a mask of the internet, when people have this online presence, they do and say really horrific things, and they write it off as, oh, that wasn't me. That's just online.
character.
That was a
Oh,
character.
yeah.
And
Okay.
you see this in comment sections. They'll say the really horrific things, and when they're called out on it, oh, I didn't know you'd see that.
I mean, we could talk about this forever.
Right.
Like it's really crazy. Why did you think that?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like when it's public. It's so crazy to me the difference between like a troll account, like and a real person
Right.
who's using their that's high level. Your
Yeah.
real name. Sometimes you're public.
Yeah, you meant that.
Do you all post your podcast on Facebook? Facebook
clips.
blows my mind
clips.
because
Yeah.
they'll have their face, their business,
Oh, yeah.
their family members linked to it, and they'll say the most
I know.
horrific things. And then why would you do that? Like there's no sense to it, and they have no regret about it either.
The thing that I find so fascinating is like we're really lucky we don't get like a lot of hate online, but once in a blue moon I'll clap back at somebody and I'll get a DM from them apologizing. Like they were like, some girl told me I dressed bad, and I was like, who the fuck asked you? And then she DM'd me and apologized and was like, I was in a really bad place. I shouldn't have done that. And I'm like, you didn't even mean it, and you still felt the need to write that. My outfit was not good that day, though. I'm
sure it was great. But speaking about DMs, though, that's actually where I think a lot of the most impactful work I do goes on that nobody sees. Because I'll get a hateful DM I get a lot of them from guys that are upset about something I talked about. They'll call me some sort of name, and my usual response. But I used to just block them. But then I got interested and bored one day, and I was like, "Why? What did I say that made you so upset?" And they're like, "Well, your video." I'm like, "Well, what specifically did I say?" And they're like, "Well, you hate men." I'm like, this is gonna blow your. I am a man, right? I'm also a father of a son.
All right, I'm raising men.
Yeah, I don't hate men. I think the stuff I talk about harms men and women. But when you speak up about anything about misogyny or about the patriarchy, God forbid you say that word, or anything that involves something that men are doing, then the assumption is you must hate all men because I didn't say not all men.
So to give an example of like your content, that Ashley and I really love your content. A lot of it is about like I was particularly attracted to this clip that you had where some guy was talking about what it is to be like an alpha man and giving advice to other men, and you did a voiceover talking about like, well, why would men take advice from this person rather than women? And I think that some people watch that and they think that you are criticizing all men, but you're just criticizing the tone of that type of man. And what they hear is that you hate all men, which I find interesting.
But you just want men to be better.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I talk about, it's not the exact comparison, but we talk about this sometimes with white women. There's a lot of white women giving us a bad name, you know, their beliefs and their values and the way they vote. And it's just like, we'd like them to be better. We can be angry and talk in a certain way, but like ultimately you want to kind of be a little more gentle and hopefully convince people and like have them get curious about their own way of thinking and hopefully like change for the better. That's what I hope.
You know, and that's exactly it. And they'll get mad at me. Well, why aren't you calling out women? I'm like, well, I'm a man, right? I have this lived experience. I went through what these guys are going through. Like all the advice they're giving out isn't new.
Right.
This was the same advice I received over 20 years ago from the pickup artist scene. And all these guys, oh, you got to do this X, Y, and Z. It's just repackaged. It's just the exact same thing. And they listen to these guys, to your question, because it's easy. It's an easy answer to a complex situation. Right. Instead of accepting that women are complex individuals with different likes, different turn-ons, different aspirations, they want to know, okay, all women are one thing, one object, that if I do this one thing or these three things, whatever it is, then that's how I'll get into a relationship.
That's really interesting. I never really thought about it. This alpha male advice, it is giving you advice on how to date one very specific type of woman that wants that very specific type of man. And I don't, the toxic alpha male, I don't want that. Nothing is attractive less to me. And why would we take advice on this for a one size? It's like a one person.
But wait, I love what you said about it's just easy. I mean, masculinity is complex, dating is complex. And so that's why I love people like you or Dr. Terry Real, who I was just listening to recently on The Daily, like this advice, it's like, it can be hard and it can be hard to be vulnerable and self-reflect. So sometimes it's easier to just be like, I don't know, I'll just be Andrew Tate.
Right.
Like
but it is. And they think, okay, so if I put enough tokens in the machine, then I'll get a prize of a woman, right? And that's really what it comes down to, because it blows their mind. Because I remember we talked a little bit before about the word "pick me."
You said people do kind of call you a pick me.
But that's actually the title of our podcast, Mr. Pick Me and the Man Hater, came from a hate comment saying, all right, Mr. Pick Me and the Man Hater. And we're like, that's the greatest.
Shut up.
Yeah, literally. They called us that. And we're like, we need to do a podcast.
Oh, I love it. I mean, we have capitalized on the things people have said. Like someone once wrote an email and said, I literally don't care about your stupid live shows. And we made I literally don't care merch and titled the tour Stupid Live Shows. Anyway, back to you.
But it's they give the great. I'm like, that was so creative.
So smart. I know.
I don't want to go on a tangent, but if you'll let me.
Go for it.
One of my favorite, I'm going to make merch out of this. Somebody said, you're not an alpha male, you're an eat a lot of pie male, like PI.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is brilliant. I can't even be upset. That is great.
Well, the meanest DM someone sent to me is it's still going viral, weeks of going viral, comments every day. And it's this girl went on a rant that she called me a big fupa twat. She called me a trash horse bitch. She said my vagina was long. Like, and the people in the comments are like, she really got creative.
Right.
It's just like, we need the merch.
Yeah. Thanks for putting an effort. At least if you're going to come at me, put a little effort into
She
it.
spent some time on that message.
Right.
It was long.
She kept going.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Pick Me and the Man
So,
Hater.
all right,
Love that.
So they called us that, and it's upsets them often, and it's the joke in our intro to our podcast is that they call me Mr. Pick Me. I've been married for 15 years. We've been together 17 years. Like, I've already been picked, right? There's no
Right.
point. I'm not trying.
It's
That's
not
the point of it. Is the idea it's performative. Well, she's not gonna fuck you, bro. I'm like, I don't know. Like, we have 3 kids. She's done it at least 3 times.
That's so true.
It's such a weird thing. Like, they assume, and it's all from videos that are literally just saying the most basic things, like women are people. Right? I was like, all right, pick me.
Wow.
All right, buddy.
Too far.
Yeah, you shouldn't emotionally manipulate women. All right, pick me, cook. Right, the white knight to the hero. It's absurd. And I'm like, what? And that's why I always go back. I mentioned earlier the DMs. I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah.
That made you feel that it's so absurd? What was this outrageous thing that you thought was the most horrific thing that made me a pick me? And they're like, that's what they're talking about.
Oftentimes, at least in your clips, you're literally just commenting on things that other people have said and breaking it down. And so I'm trapped in this algorithm where I get served this really toxic stuff sometimes about, like, by the year 2030, 45. You can give me the stat, but 45% of women will be like single, unmarried, no kids, and it was like talking about how the women are the problem essentially. Right. And you broke down that clip talking about like, let's look at these stats, let's look at why, let's talk about it. Like, you can't just blindly feed the world this stat that half of the women in the world have rejected men and children and then like move along and blame women. Right. And so you're taking things that other people are saying and just breaking it down.
I love the work you're doing in the DMs, by the way. You're doing the Lord's work. A lot of people really wouldn't take the time. And like, you can change people's minds with a brief conversation, not always. And it's just so funny when we actually think about pick me. The whole thing is that you're trying to attract a member of the opposite sex and be chosen. And you're like, I don't need to do this. Why would I be doing this? I'm actually doing this authentically. What would be the other reason?
Can I say that's the funniest thing about this whole the alpha male scene?
Yeah.
Is that, like, you like women? Gay, right? You're like, you want to spend time with women? All right, pick me. Like, that's the worst thing in the world. You want to be friends with women? You want to be around women?
Respect their boundaries. Ew.
Girls are gross.
It's so true. Like, yes, that whole manosphere hates women.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
you're the gay ones.
Yeah, but I'm the problem because I actually like women, because I like being around. I married my wife because I liked being around her. I was attracted to her because I like women.
These people also don't want a wife or a girlfriend. They want a prisoner.
Right.
And
that's the issue.
They want a maid and a servant. They don't want a partner.
They want a new mommy.
Yes.
They need
That's
replacement
true.
mommy is what it is.
Absolutely.
Okay, so why are men so triggered by this? I mean, especially when you're overall, but even the ones you're talking to personally in the DMs, like, let's just start there. Like, what is the issue?
I think we are going through a cultural shift, right? And any cultural shift is going to have a big backlash. You've seen this historically, racially. You've seen it with feminism. You've seen it with all these sorts of things. You're going to have this big backlash. And I think the reality is, not to get too far out in the woods, but now that we, with capitalism the way it is and wealth the way it is, it's not enough to just be a man anymore, right? And it's not enough and most households don't have a single provider anymore either. And so they're still expecting the same benefits of when women couldn't have bank accounts, right? When they had to pretend they were thankful for these sort of things, because if they didn't, their life was going to be literally impossible.
People have this idea that, like, our grandparents had a better handle on having relationships. No, women just couldn't leave. Women could not get bank accounts until 1979. You just couldn't leave.
Yeah.
One of the craziest stats to me is that when no-fault divorce was introduced, female suicide dropped by 20% immediately.
Yeah, and the
right?
Republicans are trying to bring it back.
Of course, that's the horrific thing. But that's the world that they like to pretend like, that's when everyone was happy. That's when things were great. Let's go back to that time. Who was happy? And you find happiness when you don't have options. I grew up in poverty, and I still had a great childhood, I think, in a lot of ways, because I found things that made me happy. I found things that made me, because the reality is the structural components of it were beyond my control. And so either I just go into depression, which happens, which often and even back then, it's a lot of women were, having to use meds and things just to survive.
The lobotomy. That's
Right.
when the lobotomy came into play.
But that's what they're aiming for. They're like, things were easier back then. And they were easier back then.
When you have no options.
All you had to do was be a paycheck. And they're getting upset because they're not being treated like objects anymore. Right? Men are upset that they'll say, "Oh, women only want me for my money." That's what you are claiming you want them to want you for, though.
Yes.
You're saying, "Oh, men should be the providers. They should be doing X, Y, and Z. The woman should be in the home." Oh, but why do all these women only want me for my money? Why did she leave me for someone that made more money than I did?
But guys are saying this that don't have money.
Right. Well, that's the issue. Thousandaires that wanting and claiming that women are all gold diggers.
Right.
Like, well, is the gold in the room with us right now?
It actually doesn't really matter for you. So that's just that deep-rooted misogyny. I mean,
and there was a dating coach that gave advice about how to trick somebody into thinking you have more money than you do. And then it's not surprising that you also see literally across the board with all these coaches in the manosphere that are talking about how women cheat all the time, right? And if you are only offering money, but then you don't have money, why are you shocked when they seek something elsewhere?
Right.
Why are you shocked when the person that wanted you for your money doesn't want you anymore when they find out you don't have money, right? And then they'll be angry about it and they'll blame women. A lot of that also comes down to the fact that they can't see beyond the idea of like, well, I want you. What can I do to get you?
Yeah.
Like what is it that I can do and if the reality is, oh well, you're interested in somebody that doesn't have what you have, but they're like, well, but I want you. I don't get it. Why can't I have you? I'm like, well, because we don't click.
Yeah.
And everyone that's gone through dating for more than a year knows that everyone you go out with is not going to be perfect. Just because you're attracted to someone doesn't mean you click, but that when you are not viewing the person as a partner, as a friend, as someone you want to spend time with, then you don't understand that. You're just like, she's pretty though.
No, like I'm entitled to her. And that's where we go down a dark road with being entitled to a woman's body even. But when you talk about Andrew Tate and those type of guys, like they're telling you you're an alpha male, you want something, go get it. You're supposed to be able to have it. And sometimes every once in a while I'll see like a message that a guy sends a woman, she'll DM it to us. And the tone is really that entitlement that I'm like, I think it's a red flag.
Well, absolutely.
He doesn't think you have autonomy. He just thinks he's deserving of your time.
They'll have advice about what she means when she says no. They'll literally will like, well, how to tell if she actually means no, and the answer should be she said no.
Right.
That's how you know she means no, because she said no. And they'll say there was one video I responded to of a young woman at a bar that was getting angry at a guy, and she was like, I said no, leave me alone. What's your problem? And all these guys were like, well, she didn't have to be that mean. She didn't have to be so rude about it. He would have just left. I'm like, would he have though? Because we hear stories. If she is nice at all, what happens? He'll stick around like, oh, she's playing games. Oh, she actually wants me, because they can't accept that, and that's why so many women will say, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," because they can't accept that it's not enough that you don't want them. It has to be another man that might be a barrier there for you.
I mean, do you know how many times I've said that in my life to somebody who was just bothering me? I've had to say that to somebody. I have a boyfriend. No, thank you. Like, no was not enough because you're a bitch. You're yelled at. People get aggressive with you. I haven't had a ton of really bad experiences where somebody gets super aggressive, but I've almost always had to say I have a boyfriend. And I was lying.
Well, I didn't like you anyways.
Right.
I didn't think you were attractive. I was doing you a favor.
Right. Then you're presumptuous, but you say I have a boyfriend, and like I wasn't into,
What are you talking about?
Remember that guy? He stalked me. Literally was showing up at my comedy shows. He was in my DMs for years, and then I finally was like, "Hey, I'm not interested." Like I just ignored it, and I was like using it for content. And then finally, I was like, "I'm not interested." And he was like, "I was just wanting to be friends." I was like, "Oh,
okay,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
I can tell." Showing up where I was at.
Showing up at my work.
Really think I'm your number one fan. I have a fan club for you.
That's even weirder.
Okay, so we're just going to take a quick break and then we'll get right back into it. I'm telling you guys about Shopify. If you guys have a side hustle, if you have a business that you're working on, Shopify is exactly what you need. You can easily set up your online store and start selling products in no time. Ashley and I have used Shopify as the platform for all Girls Gotta Eat merch and our entire Vibes Only store for years now. And it is truly a platform I cannot live without. The analytics are so easy to use. We can tap into them and know exactly what we're selling at all times from our phones. I love when we like do a sale and we can just like watch every single product, and all the behind the scenes reporting is really, really great. They can help you build a beautiful website. They have tons of templates. Our website looks really, really beautiful. They have an AI suite of tools also that are a game changer. So you'll have this AI assistant. It'll guide you through everything: directions, reporting, editing images, content ideas. There is an endless amount of plugins. We love it. Their customer support is fantastic too. So if you guys need anything along the way, they are really second to none.
Yeah, if you have any ideas, you want to start a store, sell anything, just start there. If you were literally like, how do I start? This is where everyone started. This is where you start. Again, I think I got my first Shopify store when I was 14 in 2014, and I've never looked back.
It's the one-stop shop for everything. There is so many things you can do to just build your company, be an entrepreneur, start your empire. So if you're ready to build your own empire, whether it's merch, products, or the next great idea, get on shopify.com/GGE and make it happen.
Okay, Live Conscious. We love this. I'm going to tell you guys about the collagen peptides and how they're going to improve your lifestyle, healthier hair, skin, and nails. This is the Live Conscious collagen peptides. Their mission is to create simple, effective wellness solutions that elevate your everyday life. And we are just such fans. We've talked about this numerous times, and we've mentioned Dr. Barrett time and again that he recommends taking collagen. So this is going to be how to get it. These peptides are going to dissolve effortlessly into your morning coffee, smoothie, or even water. So easy just to incorporate into something you're already drinking or eating. No clumping, no fuss. You can even get them in stick packs, which make for easy travel companions. We love anything that is so easy to throw in your bag and take on the road. And I think these are going to be TSA approved as well. Live Conscious has been around for over 10 years, which I think that's like very important. I think there's so many different little companies popping up. I'm not saying anything bad about any of those, but it's just like knowing the company has been around for 10 years doing this, you can ensure their purity and potency. They have type 1 and 3 collagen sourced from grass-fed bovine in Brazil. The Live Conscious collagen peptides is a favorite formula among 97% of users who saw visible improvements. Also clinically backed, free from harmful and unnecessary additives. So again, this is going to improve your hair, skin, and nails and can really turn back time and when it comes to your aging. So this summer, plan on traveling with Live Conscious collagen peptides. Your inner and outer beauty will thank you. Visit liveconscious.com and start your journey to natural beauty. Use code GGE for 15% off. Again, liveconscious.com, and that is code GGE for 15% off.
Okay, and if you guys are paying rent without earning anything in return, Ashley and I are about to change your life. Let us introduce you to Built, the rewards program designed for renters who want to earn something for their largest monthly expense, which is obviously rent. So let us explain. By paying rent through Built, you earn flexible points that can be redeemed towards hundreds of hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, or your next Lyft ride, and more. But it doesn't stop there. Built is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine out at your favorite local restaurants and earn additional points, get VIP treatment at certain fitness studios, and enjoy exclusive experiences just for Built members every single month. Built is turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you. Earn points on rent and around your neighborhood wherever you call home by going to joinbuilt.com/GGE. That's JOINBILT.com/GGE. Make sure to use our URL so that they know we sent you.
Did you see Marie Faustin's Built ad? No. And I'm going to send it to you. She's walking down the street.
Anything she does.
And she says, I had to go pick up some checks to pay my rent. And immediately you're like, what? What year is this? And then she says that she saw a woman proposing to a man in the park and she almost dropped her checks. And she tells this whole wild story. And then it ends with Built helping her pay her rent. It is the best ad I've ever seen.
No shock there. Everything she does is so good.
I did not see it coming. I was like, this is genius. I'm going to send you right now. Anyway, guys, Reezy, Reeezy. She's one of the funniest people. She was on this podcast so many years ago.
We should
get her back. Yeah. Okay, let's get back into it.
I want to talk about those videos I get served a lot that say like half of women will be single and childless by what is it, 2030? Do you remember what the stats are?
It's
allegedly in all those videos.
Roughly. I mean, it changes depending on what argument they're trying to make. So
totally.
I don't think the stats are really that genuine as much as they've been repeated so often that now we just accept that they're genuine.
Okay.
So I find it like interesting that those videos they blame women for their expectations of men, and that's why women are going to be single. They're choosing to be single because their expectations are so high, and you push back on that.
Mm-hmm. The idea that the expectations are high is absolutely absurd to me, because if you actually know women, I think that goes back to so many men not having women that are friends with them, and if you've had known women that are dating, you know very well that the expectations are not that they have to have all these sorts of things. And I even want to push back a little bit. I think they only will choose examples of women that want all of these things and then once again apply them to all women.
Yep.
But even the women that want those things, that's fine, right? The same with a man that is only attracted to certain, that's fine. Just don't be a dick about it, right? And it goes for anybody, right? If you're only attracted to someone that is tall, that's fine. Don't be a dick about it, right? If you're only attracted to a woman that is X, Y, or Z.
22-year-old model.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I mean, fine, but well,
it's your preference.
I mean, we can get into the whole weeds of the.
I didn't say 19.
Ages. Yeah.
22. Barely legal is a whole different type of preference.
Preferences for most things, I think, are just preferences, right? I do think. Just since you brought that up, though, that is the thing that I get a lot of negative pushback from guys when I'll speak out against someone my age that is dating 18-year-olds, and they're like, "Well, good for him." I'm like, "That's so weird.
So weird.
That's so weird.
It really, really is, and needs to be studied more.
Yeah, and
we're
it's
not talking about it enough.
Right. It's not even like it's a happenstance thing. Like I will. I don't think this happens, but I will give that it's possible that there was a situation where you were working with somebody or in a play with somebody and you found love and there's an age gap there and whatever.
Sure.
So is life, right? It's when they're seeking out only that age group where there's clearly something going on there. The metaphor I used, this is years ago now in a video about a guy that was like, that men only want to date 18, 19, 20-year-olds. Was when I was I do photography on the side. I used to be a professional photographer. When I was starting out, I only liked working with brand new amateur models because they were just thankful that I showed up, right? They didn't care that the quality was bad. They didn't care that the pictures weren't edited well.
They didn't even know I remember my relationships in my early 20s. I didn't even have the language to call out behavior. That's great. You know, there's like this funny clip. It's like the man talking. He's like, women in their 30s are actualized and they know what they want and they're confident and they can say the things that they mean. And that is why I date girls in their 20s. You know, like that's this manosphere.
Is that your photography example? Like, is that what you're saying?
And that's exactly it. Because they can tell if you're bad in bed. They can tell if you have no ambition. They can tell because they've actually have lived experience. They've actually been alive in this world outside of high school and can tell that you're actually just a loser, right?
But I mean, this is a tangent, but what about the guys that are losers? Like, well, I mean, and those are just some weird Hollywood people, but like 40, 50, 60-year-olds, rich, famous dudes that do it. I mean, let's not forget that. Like, I totally understand the example of you're a fucking loser and someone in their 30s is going to call you out on it, but it's just like the whole landscape of that. But that always, again, like I said, just weirdo famous people.
But I think that goes back to this performance for other men. Right. The idea
the younger, the better.
It's not necessarily that they're not attracted. Because I refuse to believe.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm weird, but I refuse to believe that they think an 18-year-old is better looking than an attractive 30-year-old.
Yeah,
I agree.
There's just
or
no
a 25-year-old.
Whatever, even 25. There's no but. That is absurd to me. That's all. But what it is, it's impressive. They can say, "Hey, look, I pulled a 20-year-old.
Yeah,
I pulled a 21-year-old." Same thing with weight. I was talking to. I didn't get her permission to share this, but I was talking to a creator at a conference I was at recently, and she used to be very overweight, and she said men used to hit on her constantly, right? They were in love with her, but they just didn't want their other guys to see it, right? So it's not that the attraction is there, but it's all about the performance of it. And now that she's thinner and more traditionally beautiful, then now it's okay, right? Not because they were less attracted to her before, but because they're less afraid of what the judgment is. And it's such an absurd thing.
Yeah,
like, never twisted. Once when I was dating, and my wife, you know, admittedly is stereotypically beautiful, right? But I never thought when I was dating her, like, oh man, the boys are gonna love this. Man, I cannot wait till they see this when I post this picture, and they're gonna be so excited for me. It was like, she's really fun. She's great. I like her.
I have to assume correctly that adult man who's seeking out women that are like under 22 is seeking out people that are incapable of calling them out for their adult behavior. And that's not to say that
Except
people
for
that
Jordan.
are 18, 19, 20.
Jordan and Bill.
Oh, well, she's running that show.
Bill Belichick.
But like it's not to say people that age aren't smart, but age is not just a number. It's actually your age, and it's your lived experience, and there's no alternative to it. And so I have to assume you are seeking people out only because they do not have the agency to challenge you on the way that you
That's
are.
absolutely right.
But we all like our partner to look good. I get off on people thinking my fiance's hot, but if it's not the reason why I'm with him, I'm obviously attracted to him. But when you really want somebody for those reasons and that validation only, it's got to be rooted in like the deepest insecurity, and you just live and die by validation. And I guess that makes sense for a lot of the famous people we're talking about, but it doesn't have to be just famous. It's,
anybody, yeah.
Anybody. And you've commodified your relationship at that point, right? You're only dating them because of how they look. It has nothing to do with and their age. And that's sort of it.
Which is why they don't then understand how you can actually like your partner, right? How you can actually be friends with your partner, right? Because I only got with her because she was pretty, because the other guys liked her.
Yeah.
And then after a certain point, then what is that relationship 10 years from now?
What does it look like?
20 years from now?
You break up. Look at Scott Disick. You just trade him in for the next college girl.
What does it look like in the home? Like, that's what I'm dying to see. Because I'd live with somebody, like, we're together all the time. How do you not enjoy each other's company? How do you not laugh and have fun and have conversations? Like,
that's what you value. Like, you value. You want to be friends with somebody. You want to enjoy his input and his take on how you spend your day. You want to tell him things and hear what he has to say about it. They're not shopping in that pool.
But what does it look like? Is I'm saying I just want to be a fly on the wall. I'm just curious.
She's shopping. She's out with the girls.
But I think even with attraction of a male partner, right? They always talk about there's only three things women want. They want a 6-pack, 6 inches, 6 figures, right? It's always those kind of things that they're looking for. And this may shock you. I'm not the thinnest guy in the world, right? And I was never. Now I make pretty good money, but when I was younger, when I was in the dating scene, I did not have any money. When I met my wife, when we started dating, I was a graduate student making $13,000 a year, right? There was no money there, right? But we had fun together, and that didn't. Could I take her out to expensive restaurants? No, but she accepted that there were other things I brought to the relationship that were not.
You are tall. So you have good hair.
The 6-pack is. You said 6-pack, and it's not that. It's 6 feet.
How tall are you? Be honest. You're like 6'3".
I'm 6'5".
Oh shit!
See,
okay,
don't even
get out of here.
No room to talk.
That's one attribute.
6'5" cancels out bank account. Okay, it does not matter.
But it's interesting. We're all over the place here, but I rarely hear a woman talk about wanting like a jacked dude anymore. I don't want it.
Because it's not women that talk about it. It's other men that are talking about it.
Yeah.
Traditionally, in my experience, I'm agreeing with you that it's the stereo. There was Oh, I can't remember the guy's name. I just did a video about him.
Dan Balzerian. Couldn't be shorter.
No.
He's like 5'7".
This was not. It was not a bad guy. It was not a. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Right?
It wasn't a bad.
It was like some like pop star in the UK that everyone was like, you don't know who. I don't know. Samuel Tuppence is? I don't remember his name. But he had a picture of him when he was just a fit guy, and then a picture of him when he was just sculpted. And they asked men and women, what do you think is more attractive? And all the women chose the before, and all the men overwhelmingly chose this idea of this fully sculpted. And it's not to say that there aren't women, obviously, that like guys that are jacked. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the idea is there's all women, once again, are a monolith and want the exact same thing. If they acknowledge that women are not that way, then they have to acknowledge that the reason that they're single has to do more with the fact that all women are evil. Right? It has to do with something that maybe there were other things they could have been doing along the way that wouldn't have given them that red flag of being this horrific person that a woman has to cover their drink around, because that's what they were told. That's what women like.
Right.
They like toxic guys.
It's so interesting because you have these men telling other men how to be, how to look, how to act, and then they attract these women that they genuinely hate and that like want them for their money or their bodies, and then they're mad about that too. And it's like the road, where's the happiness at the end of this toxic masculinity that you're saying you should aspire to?
So let's circle back to this whole, all these women are going to be single and childless by this age. And this can kind of lead us into something that you talk about in your content of men need women more than women need men.
Right. And it's not that men are useless. It's not that women are
Of course.
useless.
I don't
Obviously,
think so. Yeah.
And I know you are hearing what I'm actually saying as opposed to what the guys will yell at me in the comments that I'm saying. But I think a big part of it comes down to this, and this kind of ties into everything we've been talking about, where they don't want to be around women. So the only emotional intimacy they get in their life is their romantic partner, right? Because the guys that they're hanging out with, it's very surface level. It's very much about, once again, this alpha-ness of like still trying to power yourself or position yourself as the most powerful one in the group. How impressive can I be? Let's talk about X, Y, and Z that are very surface level things. And the only time they get to feel any emotional intimacy, because God knows they're not going to therapy, is with a woman in their life who they're relying on to be their mom, their therapist, and their best friend, without ever acknowledging that they like them. And so the reason why you see, the male loneliness epidemic is you hear that term all the time. And I do think it's a legitimate thing, but there's just as many women that are single that we're not talking about, because women have friends, right? That they can actually still talk to. Women have other people in their life that they aren't fully reliant on men for. And so it goes back to why everything's interrelated. When you're expecting a man to be more than just a paycheck, then they get upset about that, because that's the lie that they were told growing up, is that that's the role. As long as they provide a paycheck, they're going to get this woman to be their mom, their therapist, their friend, and their lover, which is such a weird combination of four things. But that's what they're asking for without saying those words in all of these videos.
Yeah. And there's so many men that aren't like this, by the way. We can't stress this enough.
Not all men.
You're not the only one in the world. I mean, it's truly like that. Right. So it's like, is this just parenting? It's interesting. Like, what do you attribute to the divide?
There's a lot of conversations that in this space of kind of how do we counter this right now? And it's you talk about grooming. That's the legitimate definition of grooming, is what they're doing. When a young guy is like, I want to think about my fitness, and all of a sudden, then they're being shown videos from Andrew Tate, right? Or I got broken up with, I'm feeling sad. Then all of a sudden, you're seeing Sneeko or one of these other million, insert generic name X that wants to be the next Andrew Tate there. And so they have this pipeline of information that's being spread and connected to all of these things. And the problem I think comes in is that when you have men in the healthier space that actually do like women, they get this such negative feedback from other men that they stop talking about it. They're like, oh, it's not worth it. I don't want to deal with it. When the reality is, women in this space that are saying the exact same things I am are met with violent reactions. I don't get violent I get called names.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Right? Yeah. It's not, but women in this exact same space saying far less than I am are met with like death threats. They'll find their phone numbers, their address. They do really, really horrific things to them. And they're still speaking up because they can understand that it affects them personally. Whereas it's a privilege of a man to be able to like, well, I'll be fine. If I don't talk, it's easier if I don't talk about this, so I'm not going to. I mentioned I was at a conference in Washington, D.C. this past week about reproductive health. And one of the panels I was on is about what role do men have in the conversation about pro-choice, about abortion. And you always hear, well, you're a man, you shouldn't have an opinion, but we know what opinion they're talking about, right? It's about controlling women's bodies. It's about the idea that a group of predominantly white men in a small room can decide what is better for all the women in the country. Any man that is speaking up, though, is going to be met with negative vitriol from other men, because you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to talk about these sort of things. And it's uncomfortable. Most men are uncomfortable with the word vulva, right? Or let alone even knowing what that is, right? And so the idea of talking about reproductive health makes them feel icky, because they've been told that women are gross. Women are have cooties, right? Women are something different. That's their problem, when the reality is it's not their problem when it's affecting all of us, right? It's not just a woman's problem when we exist in a world together that's there. When women are dying in parking lots, right? When we have daughters and sisters and wives and mothers that are also having to deal with the repercussions of this, it's not just a woman's issue, it's a human rights issue. But because it makes them uncomfortable, that's enough for too many guys to just kind of stay silent about it. And it's not having a platform. It's not going on TikTok and making videos about it. 99% of change is not from a video that I or another person has made, right? It's from hearing a guy saying something at the gym that is really problematic and saying, hey, that's fucked up, right? Hey, that's why do you feel that way? Why are you saying that? And that's why I said some of the most change happens in my DMs. You see the real person then in the DMs because it's not performative. It's not showy. They're no longer, when I'm questioning them, and they'll end up apologizing to me because of the fact that it's no longer the eyes of the world seeing them, and they're not afraid of it anymore.
To your point, like the grooming and that content, that manosphere type content comes in at like a vulnerable place. And then there's like a weakness there too. Because there's plenty of guys out there that would be like, I want to be stronger, or I want to get over my breakup, and they wouldn't fall victim to that type of thing. So it's just like, I don't know, like where do we start? I mean, I'm so happy for that people like Rayna's brother and my brother are like having boys. So at least they can like, raise some good ones. Cause it's like, how do we combat this? I don't know. Like,
I mean, I think there's men that get served certain women on the internet that are like, oh, men are terrible. And then they feel marginalized and put a box, like, well, not me. And then they start getting served the Andrew Tate tone. And they're like, I found somebody I can listen to. Look who the president is. Men overwhelmingly voted for him because that is their picture of masculinity.
Which is
so
terrifying.
It's so insane to me because it's just like the real men that I know in my life, whether they're family, friends, I mean, the man I'm marrying, I mean, that are real men that are like secure and successful and have good relationships with women and their families and have children, like hate Donald Trump. They're sickened by him. I find that interesting. Right? Yeah. Like he's given us a bad name. So
my brother said to me once, I was looking at a video of somebody we both kind of know that their whole personality is like working out, looking jacked, and like being a man. And my brother was very masculine, played college football, works in finance, very masculine guy. He was like, I could never hate myself enough to make that my whole personality.
yeah.
I would have used that. That is the greatest.
He's funnier than I am. It's annoying. Yeah.
Both of our brothers are too funny.
They're so funny. Yeah. But it really reframed that for me. Somebody who like really needs to make like the way their body looks and acting alpha and being better than people and above them and the true picture of masculinity. Like at their core, like why do you think they need those things? That they have to hate themselves at some level.
Yeah. Like I said, it's systemic. It's the same issue, the same stuff that's making men feel they can't talk about their feelings are the same thing that's causing them to enact violence and feel like the one feeling they can talk about is anger, right? And yet the blame that'll come out from them, not all men, all right, I keep on saying it again, it's the fault of women without acknowledging that it's us doing it to each other, right? It's not us doing it to each other, but it's us doing it to each other,
it's
right?
Male on male crime.
Right.
It's, growing up and everything you think and feel, one of your peers says that's gay,
right?
And not wanting to appear to be that way.
Well, and it's getting to the point, I think social media is amplifying it so much, where the things that are not manly are absurd. Like, I don't know if you saw, I did a whole series last year, literally 5 different videos on it, and I could have done more about how men are not wiping their asses because they don't want to touch their asshole because that's gay. And it was the comment sections of women sharing, let me tell you about this guy I dated, about like underwear full of like, this is, I don't know if you put a warning on this for the video.
No.
But underwear just like literally caked in shit. They're getting a guy being on top of a woman and her having like a streak on her.
No, I'm not okay.
It is. I know. This is
well, what are some other ones?
The way you open a water bottle. There's a special way you have to open it. And I made fun of this video.
Well, that's that whole Republican drinking straws. That's the Fox News won't shut up about men drinking out of straws. Right. Sometimes you want a straw. Grow
that's what I'm saying.
up.
You can't do that. And I've never personally thought of a straw and thought that's too phallic, right? That's just, oh man, someone's gonna think we're eating a banana in public, eating a hot dog. There's all the, I mean, you can keep on going. There's just so many of these weird things they're so terrified of doing because, then people are not going to see me as a man. And really, it's not women. I'm sure they exist out there. There are women that don't like those things, and they'll sign the one video and be like, "See, women are terrible because they don't like this thing."
But there is nothing hotter, sexier, more masculine to me than a man that is secure in whatever he's doing.
I know.
Like, why do you think so many women like Harry Styles? Because he's just going to do him and wear whatever. And it's just like, again, not all women either. I mean, I don't speak for us all, but it's just like, it's just so crazy to me because the hottest trait to me is a man doing him and owning it. And like the grossest, most insecure thing is like, I don't want to touch my own asshole because it's gay. It's just crazy.
And even less extreme, like the fact that I let my daughters paint my nails because they wanted to paint my nails, and they'll see it on my videos sometimes. I don't have them right now, and they'll be like, "Oh, why would?" And no man would ever. You would stop your daughter from doing that because real men would teach her that that's not the way men are. I'm like, yes, because that's clearly I'm harming my children by giving them a memory.
Yeah,
right? Anything like that, and it's I can't. It must be exhausting. Right, and you go back to like how it harms men, all the things you can't do.
All the things you can't do.
Like having to think about before I do anything in this world.
Well, welcome to being a woman.
Well, I guess so, yeah. That sounds exhausting. I guess it's maybe they're trying to make it the same thing. But I can't imagine living that way where I'd have to just think about, is everything I'm doing. I mean, the dating videos about like, oh, you have to wait a certain amount of time before texting. You don't show her that you like her too much on the first date. Don't ask too many questions. Don't blah, 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 blah. Don't pay for the full bill. Don't do this. There's so many of these different things.
Okay.
No, I know. There's this collection, but they'll also say, oh no, but real men should pay for the bill. And so they'll have these contradictions that going on there that are all the one truth and one reality because they have the answer. And if you want more, buy my course.
Totally.
Right?
There's too many microphones in the world. There's a lot of information. Sometimes I swipe through reels and I just get really overloaded with like the amount of opinions. And listen, we're part of it too. We have lots of opinions. We started a podcast. We think our opinions are great.
Right.
But there's a lot of it on the internet. It's hard to tune it out. And I do feel for everybody of all genders that it is hard to be like, I don't know what the fuck to listen to.
Right. And especially if you're a young guy, I can't even fathom being a 17, 18-year-old guy trying to date and not knowing what is real, who is telling the truth.
Get a friend, get a girlfriend.
And that's exactly, I had friends that were women my entire life.
If you don't have a sister, get a friend.
Yeah, and that was how I learned about what I had asked them questions because there was platonic friends that weren't interested in that I could be like, hey, what should I do? You think this is a good idea? How should I respond to this?
Yes.
Absolutely.
But don't listen to women. That's the whole thing. You don't ask a fish how to catch a fish. You ask a fisherman.
Yeah.
Right? Because if a woman will tell you what is actually they want in a relationship, but they're lying. That's what every one of their videos. I have like over 2 million women that follow me. And if you watch any of my comment sections of any of these videos, they're filled with women saying, yes, this is what I want.
Yes.
This is what I would like. This is what I want. And they'll be like, no, it's bullshit.
I think that if you ask the average woman, myself and Ashley included, what do you want in a person? If you can pick 10 things. Sure, 2 of them might have to do with money or height. I'm attracted to a certain height. I would like you to make a certain income. But the other 8 things are all personality driven. How do you make me feel? How are you intentional? Or, I think that if you really boiled it down, you could listen to women and it's personality driven that we are looking for. It's not this toxic masculinity.
100%. A question that we had on our list was, are there healthier ways for women to communicate their needs without falling into caretaker roles? Rayna, you wrote that question. Can you break it down more? Did you get that from ChatGPT? Because now I'm like, does that make sense?
It makes sense. So, I mean, like, every interview we do like this, it's like, okay, well, if this, then what, right? Like, if we're saying that we want men to be better, how can we ask them to be better? In what ways? And I guess, like, I don't like to just, Ashley and I never like to be like, this is the problem. We're going to see ourselves out now.
Right.
So, like, is there anything women can do?
I think the problem is this is the problem. All right. And so, but I think this is the problem is that women are saying what to do online. It's easy to find.
Exactly.
It's not like there are no women out there giving genuinely great dating advice, great relationship advice. There's like fantastic that mirrors exactly what I'm saying, but for some reason the only person they're listening was when another man says it.
And women are like, what you should do is be taller and richer.
Right.
I mean,
the guys that listen to this show, I mean, every once in a blue moon, we will get a really wonderful message from a guy that's like, this helped me find my partner. Like, this made me into a better partner, which also, there is hope. you know, people do change. I really like that you have been able to change some people's minds with your work and even privately in the DMs. And so, you know, there is hope.
I get the same thing. I get a lot of men. I have more men than people. Once again, if you look at it from a numbers perspective, 500,000 men follow me. They're not all hate follows, right? Some of them are, because I know from their comments, and I have a lot of women that will say, oh, my husband actually likes your, like listens to your stuff. He loves when I show him your videos, but he's not on social media, right? Or though it's usually people in happy relationships. And it's not that I'm a guru. I'm not a dating expert, right? I am not some person that has done this for a living. I just like women. Right. That's where I'm in a happy, and I can give it examples from being in a 17-year relationship now with 3 kids. And they're always like, oh, well, do you film in the corner when your wife is with it? I'm like, I'm not worried about that. Right. Because it goes back to if you're too nice, if you care about your wife too much, she must be cheating on you. You must be worried about her leaving you. I'm like, what is wrong? Why are you so broken?
Right? It's right. How are you so broken? I mean,
it's so sad.
And a lot of it is it's deep. Again, it's how you grew up. I mean, I'm fascinated by it.
Right?
Who hurt you? But it's probably some of it's probably pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, again, and this isn't male apologist stuff, but there was probably for a lot of these men really bad home situation, of some abandonment, abuse. Maybe it doesn't always have to be the one girl that broke your heart in college that turned you into this way. So I want to acknowledge that too. But that's with anyone, male,
but to your point,
female,
dating
whoever.
is hard.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the issue, is that we're fed that dating shouldn't be hard. But it is, because you're seeking someone, theoretically, if you want a long-term relationship, right? You're seeking out somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with. It's not going to happen on the first try. It's probably not going to happen on the 20th try. You have to continue dating and get to know somebody and meet them and be willing to be vulnerable, right? As opposed to the self-fulfilling prophecy is, if I'm putting on this mask and pretending to be this fake person to be with somebody, and then when they meet the real me, they don't like me and we break up with each other, you just wasted your entire time.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm friends with literally everyone I've ever dated before. I'm not close and we don't hang out. Not like, we're not DMing each other what'd you do last weekend? But like I'm on good terms. And it's because I dated women that I liked. Right. And there was never a situation when we were dating each other where they were like, oh, you've changed. You're someone else. They knew who I was. We tried it out. It didn't work out. We moved on with our lives. And we were able to be positive and have a positive reflection on that reaction. I've had exes that would set me up with other women because they're like, we didn't click, but I do think there's somebody that you would like that way because of the fact that when we broke up, I didn't all of a sudden burn the house down and treat her like she was the worst person in the world because she wasn't. She was a good person that I dated.
That I chose.
I also, it sends bells off immediately to me when I'm talking to a man and he says negative things about his ex to me. If she says she's crazy or a narcissist, I'm just like, run. And my hope is when I date somebody that they say, I have no feelings about that person anymore. They were nice. It ended. They were a nice person, which is how I mostly feel about most of my exes.
That's fine.
I feel in the middle about all of them, and that's what you hope for. When a man says terrible things about their exes, I'm just like, what did you do?
And it's rarely one ex, too. It's always like
all
every single one.
Yes, I totally agree with that because I feel like a lot of people have one crazy ex.
Yeah, of course.
But if it's the whole pattern... So
after a certain point, you have to accept that what's the common denominator. Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that women that you see in your work that are getting wrong about men out there? Not the bad ones, but that are just kind of like, because I'm always learning. I feel like I'm always learning how to be a better partner. You want to make your partner feel like needed and loved.
I think if we're going to talk generally, not to get too professory and one of my research areas is something called feminist standpoint epistemology, and it's the idea that you have your lived experience as someone on these structural power structures in society. You know much more about the people above you on that structure, but know far less about the people that are below you in these structural power things that go on, right? And so I think women understand men pretty well. I think as a general rule, they get it, because of the fact that we do have a misogyny-based culture, and as a woman who is affected by so many of these political policies, by societal things, the dating life that's out there. It's much easier, I think, for women to see what it's like to be a man in the dating world than it is for a man to understand what it's like to be a woman.
I love this concept. And Sarah Silverman has a new comedy special, and she says something to the effect of that women understand men because we've had to be a part of society, to assimilate into these cultures and be respected. We've had to understand what makes you tick, how to get your respect. Men have not had to do that as much for as long.
That's true. I mean, I joke that I mentioned earlier, I have a bachelor's in gender, a master's in feminist rhetoric, and that allows me to have a conversation with a random woman. I can have a good conversation with a woman who has lived her life as a woman. And like my podcast co-host, she doesn't have a theoretical or academic background. She says most of the brilliant things on our podcast. I think I set her up and I'm like, yep. That's it. And she knows it not because she read it and took a graduate seminar on it, but because she lived it, right? And she's a lesbian, but she dated as a straight woman before she realized that. And so she has experience on the whole spectrum of dating, right? And so when she brings things up, she just knows it because she lived it, right? And she's been able to see it, whereas a lot of men, I think, are able to be, it's a privilege to be blind to what is happening to the people around you. And I think that's really what it comes down to. So I think as a whole, women are saying that they get it.
I do feel like I'm always learning, but like my knowledge is just kind of, it's basic shit. It's stuff I pick up on a podcast or on a TikTok or Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, which that book's a little misogynistic, but I read it a long time ago. And a lot of it's also
At
just...
the time it was good, but now, it's problematic now.
But a lot of just, it's basic principles that people are just different, you know, and like trying to understand someone, understand that they're built different and wired different, and this is what their needs, their love languages and all that stuff. It's just basic shit.
It's not hard. And that's the bar being low. I have a whole playlist on TikTok of the bar being so low, and it's all the most basic stuff, like women have feelings. Don't lie to them, right? Sometimes it's helpful to change a diaper when your daughter or when your child is born, right? It's nothing that's groundbreaking. Nobody should be watching my videos and being like, this guy gets it. No, it's embarrassing that people are saying that about me, because nothing I'm saying is above and beyond basic human empathy.
Right. Women have feelings, don't lie to them. There it is, you guys. We solved it.
We did it. We did it.
You did this video where like you're sort of duetting this guy that's talking about how women's standards are too high, and I'm like, the bar is in hell. Our standards are literally so low. Can you just like show up to a thing you commit to? Like that, like if you ask me to do a thing and you make a plan with me, can you just come to the plan? Like that's the bar. Like just be nice to me.
Well, it's the list that they're going off of that's just really hard to hit list is the one that other men are telling them all women want that they've created.
Our list is easy. It's pretty much be a good person.
I think, and this is kind of a funnier aspect of this, I really do think it goes back to the age thing. When they're looking at videos, like I teach community college. Most of my students are fairly young, even as little as 13 in some of my classes. And we'll do group projects where we do budgeting and things like that, just to do random interactions. And it's always the younger ones that have no idea how much anything costs, right? It's the how much is I need $20,000 for groceries every month, or even vice versa. I need $20 for groceries every month, because they haven't lived it. They don't have the experience. And so these guys will be like, all women want X, Y, and Z. It's because they're looking at 18-year-olds who are fresh out of high school who haven't lived and been disappointed by how low the bar is, and so many times, and they're like, oh, that's clearly all women. But if you actually talk to women, you find out that, once again, as a multifaceted human being, that I'm not going to be every woman's cup of tea. There's many women that would never want to date me for
6'5".
that will.
What's the clip I sent
The
you?
beard,
Trey Kennedy. He's a comedian. He has this clip, and he's like, 6'3", like you can get away with a lot. 6'5", you can go to prison. Just don't tell me about it. Like, I don't care if you speak English. You killed a person. I bet he was a bad guy.
But then 6'6", a little too tall.
6'6" is too much.
So I got right on the.
Yes, it's way, honestly, it's 6'5". That's perfect.
All right, so maybe I have a skewed vision of this, but I do
we're
think
just fucking with you. But yeah,
I think there are. The fact is,
this is why men hate you, by the way.
I'm like, no, this is weird. I'm not used to this. I'm used to being yelled at.
They're like, I hate you, and you're like, wait till I stand up,
right,
motherfucker.
yeah.
Well, that is a funny thing though. It's like, I fit the roles that they say. I'm a masculine alpha guy. Like, you know, I take care. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. I make good money. I protect my family. I take care of my kids. I own my own business. You know, I'm 6'5".
Yeah.
Yet I'm apparently the most beta. You know, guy that exists out there because of the fact that I care about women, because I like women.
Well, let's like talk about a few little dating things, see if you have some takes on this stuff. So we obviously see bad behavior. We, you know, experience it and we hear about it constantly from our listeners when guys are doing things like ghosting or breadcrumbing or keeping a roster and all of that. Do you discuss that and like where that kind of comes from psychologically?
I mean, I think a lot of it is just trying to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. They think, because everything's failing for them, so like, oh, this must be the reason for it. Breadcrumbing is the funniest thing to me because it makes no sense whatsoever. It's like, I got to keep something hidden and just slowly string them along, as opposed to you're going to run out of stuff to be that person for them and kind of.
Do you think it's conscious? I mean, I guess every person is dynamic and has their own set of problems. But like, do you think when people are like breadcrumbing you, they're like, I'm gonna get her, but I'm gonna fuck with her. I'm gonna do a nice thing. I'm gonna pull back.
But yeah, I don't think that's natural. I mean, ghosting can be out of fear if you're like you're terrified of talking to somebody. I could see that might be, but I think most of these things are very clearly they've heard it, they've thought it. Because once again, I was told these things when I was a single guy in my 20s. All of these exact same advice was being given. You have to do X, Y, and Z. Even things like negging, even those sort of things. Those were all given out. And obviously I didn't follow them because I'm not a horrible human being.
Yeah.
But I was like, in my mind back then, I was like, I probably should be doing these things, right? And that's probably why I'm not. You know, you buy into it and you assume that must be the reason that's there.
Ghosting as a young guy is more understandable than ghosting as a millennial, elder millennial, Gen X.
100%.
Because you would like ask girls out in person. You had to call their house and talk to their parents on a landline. Like, it's actually so crazy. Like, if you grew up and you had to pick up a landline and call and not know who was going to answer the phone, you should never be ghosting someone. I give a little more grace to like a 20-something dude, also just age in general. But like, I just think about that so much. Like, guys that are 35 plus, how the fuck?
No, it's embarrassing.
You grew up differently. You know, you should be better than this.
I mean, a lot of these things are. I don't understand how it's not embarrassing to do these sort of things and to navigate the world knowing that that's how you're treating other human beings.
I agree. What if you run into them? Like, you just want that on your conscience? I don't.
Just like come up with a
God, I
lying
can't
spot.
even imagine. Yeah.
Okay, so we wrote down just a couple red flags. We'll wrap up with this. Just debatable red flag behavior. We want to see what you think about it. Okay, what about somebody with no social media, no online presence?
As being a red flag for a man with it?
Yes.
I think some guys just don't do social media. So,
I love it.
Yeah, I think it's
women
fine at all. Yeah. I don't see that being a red flag. I mean, unless there's like, once again, it's a red flag only if the person is a red flag doing it, right? If they're doing it
actively hiding,
or they can't trust themselves to be online because they're going to do, liking stuff they're not supposed to like, or sending DMs or harassing people.
Yeah.
Like, if that's the reason. But once again, that has nothing to do with not having a social media presence.
Pete
I think
it's
you
should not be online.
Yeah.
I mean,
certain guys, it's probably better off not having an internet presence. Yeah.
We're doing a green flag episode coming up, and so many women prefer I think the red flag is the too much social media.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, too many mirror selfies and
it is. It's also, social media is a very weird place. I know this. As someone I'm obviously on there, but if I had gotten this level of fame as a single guy, I'd like to believe I would have handled it well, but I'm in a much better space. Like, being in a secure relationship where I'm not having to do that. I do think so. I could see why that's definitely what could be a green flag.
Preferring to split the bills 50-50 all the time. Where'd you get this from?
I wrote it.
No, that's a big one. The 50-50 one is a huge manosphere talking point right now.
What do you mean? What are they saying?
Oh, they're saying you should never pay for. Some of them are even going as far as you shouldn't spend a cent on her for the first 90 days.
That seems contradictory. What?
Yeah.
I see a lot of this.
But I thought that seems so contractory to the alpha male.
No, because they're like, women that want this are disgusting. They're using you.
And it's definitely, it's not
this
a
makes
red flag.
No sense.
Well, here's where I think there's nuance to this one, right? Because I think it's a red flag when, once again, you're doing it as a test, right? You're doing it as a surprise, right? I've invited you out to this dinner, and I'm going to, but I mentioned I was broke when I met my wife, right? But she knew I was broke, right? And so we did other things that didn't cost money. We went to poetry readings. We went to theater, community theater events. We went out for coffee with each other. But I knew for a fact that I couldn't afford to take her out to luxurious restaurants, right? And that was fine because I was in my 20s, and she was. That's not why we're together. But I wanted to spend money on her though. And what money I did have, I liked showing up to see her with coffee, with her favorite coffee. I liked buying her, for our first Christmas together. I went, once again, didn't have money. But I wanted to get her a good gift. And I'm from San Francisco originally. Mm-hmm. And I went to all my favorite spots and got like a little knick-knack for her. And it was just, I gave her my home was our first Christmas gift I got her. The Christmas after that, I'm big on Christmases at the time, but we went to an art show together, and there was this painting she really liked on the wall. It's too expensive for me. I went up to the artist and I was like, hey, what can I give you? What's the lowest I can give you for that? And they liked my story. They gave it to me. I hid it in my closet for 6 months, and that was there. But I don't think a lot of guys realize it's not about the money. It's about the mentality.
I thought this was really interesting. I've never told you. So I was talking to a good friend of ours who makes plenty of money, good looking guy, really nice. I'm assuming his interactions with women on dating apps are always really pretty positive. He said that more often than not, he's seeing women in their profiles saying, I'm not splitting a bill with you, don't even ask. He said he sees it constantly over and over and over again. And I'm wondering what men are doing on dates that has made women have to put that out there.
Well, it's because of it's the advice that's being given to do it.
This is blowing my mind. I see it now. Again, I'm not in the manosphere. Maybe I should dabble a little bit more.
It's a dark place.
I can't look, and it's like, well, I can't watch Fox News. Like, yes, you should know.
I get tagged and sent so many videos that my algorithm on Instagram is just that as well.
I get too angry. I know what's going on over there, and I don't need to watch it and let it get in my brain. But yeah, some women are like gold diggers. But it's just that's not most of it. It's just so crazy because the normal women and normal healthy men, I think we all kind of know, as if you're a man and you asked a woman out, just you pick up the tab for the couple drinks you had.
And also, if I'm asking you out,
that's
if I'm
point.
inviting you out, so when a company asks me to come meet with them or something like that, I'm not expecting to pay, right? When I ask my wife to go somewhere with me, when we were dating, even though I was broke, if I knew I was inviting her somewhere, I was still doing my best to pay for it if I could, because I was inviting her to somewhere that she would not have gone to if I didn't do that.
And if you're a guy and you are dating a woman and you feel that she never grabs for her wallet, she'll never pick up the coffees or the ice creams or the whatever, she's really using you for your money, you'll know it. And then end it.
Also, and that's fine. Then move on.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Why would you even want to be there in that relationship if that's all that it comes to? Well, adding to that, I made a video on this a while back, kind of making fun of this idea, and all the women were like, well, I don't want him to pay because then the expectation is there for something after, and they get really pushy. Then, well, I bought you dinner. I bought you this nice thing. And so a lot of the women in my comment sections were especially early on though, they're like, no, I'd rather go for coffee, which is a weird thing because that's also their manosphere are saying, take her for coffee, don't spend money on her. But they're like, I'd rather do that because then there's no expectation.
There's a million ways to look at this. I mean, everybody has a different opinion about it. Yeah. If I'm never going to see you again, if I go on a date with somebody and I don't like them, I put my card down.
The friend zone. Here's a 20.
You know I'm not fucking you if I put my card down. But I don't want somebody to be on the hook for giving me money, and I'm never going to see you again.
But we don't go to dinner on first dates, and we've done tons of content on this. I mean, that's just meet and see if you vibe.
That's 100%.
And how much is it if you each had 2 drinks, if you drink, if you do coffee, whatever, if you go on a walk, but how much really is it?
But I think that's the advice that most women are saying, at least from my comment sections as well. That's exactly what they're saying. But once again, if you're not listening to women and you're only listening to the guys that are saying, no, they're going to want you for this, and so this is how you catch them, then this is how you'll find out about them, as if it's shocking to expect that if you're asked out on a date. And also, who made that norm that men pay on the first date? It wasn't women necessarily originally that were doing it. And so, I don't know, it's all, they get caught up from, it's men talking to other men and ignoring women.
It's so funny to think of these men that are like, women just want me for my money, and we're like, what money?
I know, and that's
and then if you are a guy with tons of money, and you're not paying, that's even fucking weirder.
It's weird. That's why there's also the manosphere talking point of men don't want successful women, right? Because that takes away the one edge that they might have in doing this. When the reality is, why wouldn't you be attracted to someone that's successful? Why wouldn't you? Well, because of the fact that you have to offer something else.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't financially control them, and you actually have to offer something else other than a paycheck.
Yeah. Okay, I like this one. Insisting on natural women that don't wear makeup. Have you seen this in the manosphere?
I haven't seen a ton of this one, but I do think
not in the manosphere.
I don't think most men know what they're talking about.
I think that's so fascinating. Men that are like, I would never let my girlfriend get Botox. You would never know I had Botox, and I've had Botox for 10 years, and you're welcome.
Yeah.
And when they're talking about natural, they're not actually meaning natural, because they also are the ones that say women are catfishing men. This is what you look like without makeup, because they've never seen a woman in the morning, right? Because it's usually they're
never spent the night.
they never spent the night, right? And so, or they run out. They don't know what they're saying.
Totally.
Right? And once again, their understanding of makeup is from other men's understanding of makeup.
Right. They don't know what they're talking about.
But also, men wear makeup. They just don't call it makeup. Like, I have a beard, right? This is
Don't
male
started.
makeup, right? If I were to
up.
shave off my beard, I wear this makeup because it gives me more of a jawline, right? Same reason any woman would do certain things. And so if I shave it off, of course somebody would be like, "You look so different," because that's what we do.
Exactly. Oh, well, what a combo. This was great.
I know.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Well, we're on the right side of the internet because we got served your content just randomly, and we love it.
Any final thoughts? Do you think there's anything we missed? Or do you feel
No, I think we covered it. I think we're good to go.
Okay.
Hopefully people don't get too angry at you.
No.
Our audience loves this.
Okay.
They really, really do. And like a lot of men that we've had on say that, and there's never any pushback. So we have a really open,
they're amazing.
Intelligent audience.
Well, thank you for this. And tell people where they can find you, your podcast, any other things you're working on.
Sure. Our podcast is Mr. Pick Me and the Man Hater, where we it's a comedy podcast where we make fun of all the toxic guys on the internet, and we go off on tangents. We do get serious sometimes, but usually we try to keep it very lighthearted. I'm the Speech Prof on Instagram. It's my main one. I'm also on all the other ones, but my name's a little different on all of them because I didn't plan on being a content creator.
To confuse people.
It was accidentally happened, and my name was taken everywhere. But look for the Speech Prof, and you can usually find me somewhere.
Okay, amazing. Well, thank you for being here.
This was great. Thank you so much. And you guys know where to find us, girlsgottaeat.com, Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I'm Ash Hess. Rayna is Rayna.Greenberg. Subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend, and we will see you Thursday.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.